Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Aaron Pallian. I'm the owner and director of On Your Mark Productions. We have a series of events that take place in the Houston area, and I live personally out in Katy. I'm the director of the Texas City Triathlon. For all the events with On Your Mark, these are first year events, only because in 2018, we sold all our events off and moved back to Michigan, where I'm from and have a lot of family. And so over those 4 years, we decided to come back this year. And in coming back, I wanted to create a bunch of new events. Originally, I created the events of the Bayou City Triathlon Series, which was at the time Bridgeland, which is now Cypress, Kima, and Town Lake Triathlons. I also was the original co-creator of the Run Houston Race Series, a 5K, 10K race series, and the Bayou City Half Series as well. So just a little history on myself. I've been doing this about 15 years, put on well over 100 events. So you're in good hands as far as the organization and quality of the event, and the safety standards that we've built over the years will be applied to all of these events as well. So I wanted to dig just a little deeper into this event with you guys, go over the course on screen so you can see a number of things. Thank you personally for doing the event, whether you're people that I know from the community when I left in 2018 or whether you're brand new to the scene. Thank you so much for supporting the event. Especially inaugural events, they need to get off the ground to keep going year after year, and you guys have really helped with this event. We're looking at probably having around 500 on race day. It depends on how many sign up this week, but should be around 500, which is a good showing first year. And I'm going to dig right in here and share my screen with you guys so we can get started. So overall, run sign up is what we use for all of our events, and I think pretty much everyone in the country has a run sign up account if you do endurance sports at this point. Once you register for our event, you can go back in at any time, click the manage or edit button. I'm not sure what it says exactly, but it's manage or edit on that registration. And then the top level, most of the time the questions I get are how to do things on the add-on screen, like add-on race morning pickup or packet shipping or whatever. So if you click the manage or edit button, and then at the top of the menu, it changes and you'll see an add-ons link. You can click that, and then that will allow you to add in whatever you want on your registration. There's also just the edit key that you hit originally, which will allow you to change some of your personal information and questions. And you can manage your registration from within there. And you can also change distances, like if you wanted to change from the tri to the do or the aqua bike or whatever, you can do that there as well. Although I think changing events might be shut off at this point since we are a week of the event. All right, so what you're looking at is obviously you've been to our website. This is the homepage. Just a quick scroll shows our medals, little video. Those are spinner medals, which is kind of cool. This year, something different. Everyone gets the medal, bib, and this nice workout tech shirt. Now, those that had their package shipped, those are already in the mail. You should get those in the next day or two. Those do not include the shirt, which they originally should have, but delayed shipping from China because of a typhoon that happened over there. Those will be here either today or tomorrow. So those that get their shirts at packet pickup, those will be there. Same with race morning pickup, those will be there. So if you didn't get your shirt with your mailed packet, those of you that paid for that, that will be in the gazebo with Selena the morning of the race. You can get it before or after. I will separate all those out so that your sizes are reserved and not taken if you choose to get those after the race. Okay, so I'm going to go over just the most important things on this website real quick. I'm not going to go over rules and policies. More so than the most broken rule that we have is drafting. We're going to go with the 30-second pass rule and 5 bike lengths this year. Okay, so we will have a USAT official on course along with some course marshals. The major area of contention will be the dike because it's very long, 5 miles each way, completely closed for the event, but that'll be the area that people could gain a drafting advantage, and we don't want that a lot more so than the loop around the park. So we're really going to monitor that as far as drafting. Just make sure you guys aren't side by side or within that draft zone for more than 30 seconds, 5 bike lengths. Our goal is not to disqualify you, a penalty maybe, but we definitely don't want to disqualify people for any reason. So we're going to try and educate and warn more than we are disqualify anything. So just be nice. If you get a penalty, if you get a warning, just be nice about it and learn from it and move on. That's all I'll say about the rules and policies. But do know this, that we want you guys to race. We don't want to have to cut anyone off. We don't want to have to give people penalties or DQ them. Our goal is for you to have a successful race and have fun out there. You're our customers. We want you to come back. So if we do or say something, it's for the betterment of yourself, other racers, the race in general, everything. So please just help us out there. I'll let you guys read through the rules and policies, but know that it is your responsibility to know that. Claiming that you don't know is not an excuse when it's here for you to read. Okay, we're going to jump forward to the, let's see, we'll skip down actually. I do have bib number and swim assignments. So if you look at this, these were assigned on the 21st. We have had quite a few of you register after the 21st. You will not be on this list. So because we can't keep sorting this list and reassigning every single day, it would eat up too much time. The majority of people are sorted by age group and given numbers that put them in groups and transitions so that they're close to each other, which makes competition more fair. Those of you that registered after the 21st will just be assigned the next number in the sequence and put in a section of transition towards the end. That's just how it's got to be. So if you don't like that, then please just sign up sooner. Makes our job easier and you save money. So think about that next year if you signed up late and you want to be included in the area in your age group. Now, that doesn't do anything to affect the awards. You're still in your age group with them. You still start the race with them swim cap color wise. It's just where you are in transition with your number that'll be different. Okay, so that's really easy. I'm not going to go over anything else there. We'll go back to the website here. Let's see. So packet pickup is what we'll go over next in the lineup of events here. Just to scan over this real quick, or scan over it, I'm sorry. You got to pick up your own packet. I always get people ask me for exception. I know they read this and they still want exception. It's a USA Triathlon policy. It's also our policy. You cannot pick up a packet for somebody else. We don't know whose hands that ends up in. We need to know it at least starts in the correct person's hands. That is part of the insurance policy, and we don't want to negate that by not following the rules set up for us. If you cannot pick up your packet, we had packet pickup or packet shipping available for $15 extra, comes to your door. That's since been disabled because I can't do that now. But we do until the 29th or until it fills at 50 spots. We do have race morning packet pickup available as well. If you follow the process I said in the beginning, logging into your run sign up account and putting that in. When you show up at packet pickup, we have 2 days of that. You must show a government issued photo ID along with the QR code that will be in an email that's sent to you this week about packet pickup. Now, if you can't find your QR code, it certainly slows down the line, but we can look up your registration by last name. Just please try to have that QR code. It makes everything go a lot faster and a lot smoother. Okay. You do not need to show your USA Triathlon membership card or one-day pass. Those are all now verified when you register. So there's really no need to show that as long as we're getting your photo ID and we know the packet's going to the correct person, you're all set. It says know your race number and start a swim start wave. That's not necessarily necessary because some of you won't be assigned that. If you signed up after I assigned all those, you won't know until you get to packet pickup. This was something I put in there before I knew that it was going to go that way. This should actually be removed. Just know when you leave, know what swim wave you are. Make sure you know that. If you're being assigned there, then you'll need to know that there. You can also look here under let's see, race day schedule. I have those automatically assigned here. So we'll get to those in a minute. Just know that so you know you have the correct swim cap color when you leave. That's most important. If you have a number and you have a timing chip, that's assigned to you. It doesn't really matter beyond that, but the swim cap color does matter. Have your QR code, and then check your packet. Make sure you have all the items we're going to talk about below before you leave. That way you're not emailing us the day before and we're scurrying around race morning to help you out with that. We will if we need to, but just try to make sure you're all squared up before you leave. In your packet, you will get this shirt that you see right here. You will get a swim cap, and Just Swim Caps, an online company, was generous enough to donate those this year. We work with them on a number of events and they're a great partner to have. So that logo is on their swim cap. If you ever need swim caps, go check them out. This shirt here is all custom, which is really nice. And then you'll get your bib. You'll get your bib will have a what looks like only one, but it's actually 3 stickers stapled to it. Should have a matching number that matches your bib and what you were assigned. Those stickers 2 of those stickers will go on your bike. You can put them on the left and right side of your seat post, or inside, outside, however you want to look at it, or the fork, whatever is visible for the USAT official to see, and our marshals out there. The other sticker will go directly center on your bike helmet. You want to put that there. You'll get the run bib. Now, those that had their package shipped to them, I did not put safety pins in there. I'm assuming that you guys all have the elastic race belts. If you don't, you still have time. Pick one up at a local shop. Maybe even Amazon can get you one. They're real easy. You hook your number on them, put them around your waist, super quick. You don't want to mess with pins if you don't have to. Putting on a dry shirt when you're wet really sucks. It's horrible. But if that's what you're going to do, that's fine. Just know you need some safety pins. I'll have those at in-person packet pickup and race morning. Selena will have those under the gazebo in the park. So if you need pins for any reason, that's where they're going to be. If you leave something at home, like a swim cap or a swim cap brakes or whatever, you can see Selena as well. I'll try to put some extra of every color down in transition or at the swim start. So we should have those all over the place. Going down this list, you'll get your run bib and you get a timing chip. Now, when you get to packet pickup at Sun and Ski, they're a packet pickup partner. Just make sure that you visit all the tables and that you have all of these. I'm not sure yet what Selena will give you at her table where she checks you in. She might have bags pre-stuffed with a bunch of things. She'll direct you on what to do, but just make sure. I know the timing chip and ankle strap will be a separate table. Make sure you get it, and that number on the timing chip should match whatever you were assigned. So make sure that matches. You do not need to scan it. You just need to pick it up, okay? That chip will auto-activate when we start the race. That's when the chip, there's no mechanism inside that like officially starts it. It's us starting the mats that you go over. Okay. Mail packets, your timing chips are not in there because we just don't want to mail them. Some of you don't end up coming to the race and then you got to mail the chip back. It doesn't make sense. So what we do is we put, for the mailed packets, all of your timing chips will be on the rack next to your number strapped to the bike rack when you get into transition. You are the only ones we do that for, mailed packets only. Those of you that are race morning packet pickup will have a blue bag full of everything you need pre-stuffed with your name on it, including your timing chip in there. Those 50 of you that do that. And those are Selena in the park under the gazebo when you walk up in the morning. Okay. Now on to dates, times, and locations for packet pickup. Most of you, a majority of you are coming in person. Mailed packets were about 100 and the race morning's 50, which leaves about 350 of you picking up in person between 2 days. We have got a couple people emailing us because it's not necessarily normal to not have a packet pickup prior to race day. Our race day is October 1st, which is a Saturday. We do not have it on Friday. We've never had a Friday for this event. From day one, it's always said no packet pickup Friday. Undoubtedly, there are some of you that didn't read that. That's okay. We still have some openings for race morning packet pickup. If that sells out, we might be able to open a few more, but once it's a hard sellout on that, you're going to have to make packet pickup. That's the only choice you have. So we do that so that our packet pickup crew and some of our crew behind the scenes, they don't have to work on Friday. They can take a day off before they work on Saturday for you guys out at the event. Plus, it kind of gives us a buffer day between when people register last minute and pick up and all of that. It's good to kind of de-stress after that. So packet pickup number 1 is Wednesday, and that's the 28th. That's at Sun and Ski at Memorial. That's at 303 Memorial City Mall. That's from 4 to 8. Please do not show up at 3 o'clock trying to get your packet. We've had people show up 2 hours early trying to get your packet. We have this time on here because we will show up about an hour early. It takes us at least 45 minutes to set up. So if you show up early, you're just going to be waiting around. If you're there 15 minutes early and want to line up, that's okay. Or if you want to get there earlier than that, but just know that's on you to wait in line at that point. If we're ready early at all, we'll open up early if we can, but just come expecting us to start at 4 and we will end at 8. Do not email us or call us or text or any of that stuff at 8 o'clock wanting us to wait till 8:30. These people donate their time. Some of them, there's a lot of volunteers. And it's not fair to ask them to wait longer because you couldn't make it. If you can't make it, there's another day. So packet pickup number 2 is on Thursday, same time, 4 to 8, but at a different location. This one's at Webster, closer down to where the race is, Baybrook Square. So get to that one. If you absolutely can't get to that one, then I don't know what to tell you at that point. We will leave packet pickup or race morning packet pickup open on Thursday, so you can switch. If you decide you can't make it, you can pay to have your race morning packet there for you. But like I said, there's only 50, and I think there's like 37 right now that have done that. So if you think that's going to be you, I would say just do it now while there's still spots available. So those are your options for packet pickup, and then the other two are listed down here. Let's keep rolling along here. Let's talk about parking. So race morning. Now, when I pull up the course map, I'll show you where to park specifically. Texas City, it seems recently that they've expanded a lot of the lanes within the city for parking, which is great. It can park a lot of people, but just know that when you park, be respectful. This is going to be early in the morning, and most of these places that you're going to park have houses right next to you. We want to be good stewards of what we do and be welcomed back with open arms. So keep it as quiet as you can, keep the lights down, don't litter, just be very respectful. Pretend like it's your house you're parking in front of. You don't want to trash it. Okay, guys, so be respectful of that. There's no specifically designated spots for this event. It's first come, first serve. There's no VIP. You can get relatively close even with 500 people if you're willing to walk just a little. Remember, you have a bike. If you have a backpack, put the backpack on. If you want to ride your bike, just make sure if it's dark, hopefully you have a light or you're very, very safe about it. Make sure your helmet's on. That is something we will not warn. We will just DQ you for. That and littering on purpose. If something just kind of falls off your bike, it's abandonment. We're going to try to help you learn from that and let you know what happened. But if we see you do things on purpose that could either injure you, someone else, or get the race kicked out of the location, those will be instant DQs. So be very aware of your surroundings with that. There are areas here that you should not park. And a lot of these areas are going to be blocked off by police anyway, so you won't be able to get in. But keep an open eye and do not park on Bay Street Park, in the park, at Bay Street. Skyline is a big no-no. The Texas City Dike, like I said, a lot of these are going to be closed down like at midnight, so you won't be able to get in there anyway. Okay, so let's go into the race day schedule, and then we'll go to maps next. And I'll go back to parking when I get to the actual course map so you can see where that is. Okay, so 5 a.m. on race day, transition opens. You do not have to get there at 5 a.m. I would say, though, if you have to pick up your packet, if you're one of those 50 that's doing it the morning of, or it's your first race, get there extra early so you've got time to kind of relax, do your thing, and you're not rushed. When you're rushed, you get stressed, everybody suffers. Okay, so transition opens. Remember that it's only athletes in transition. Now, we have a transition you can walk almost right up to the very front of it, where the athletes enter. But at that point, you will have to split from spectators, which could be friends, family, coaches. No one besides the registered athlete with the number is allowed in transition. We are not doing pre-race bike check. There's a very slight chance that that may change, and I might send an email out that says, hey, anyone that wants to come rack their bike early on Friday can do that. If I do that, it'll be either Thursday night or Friday morning. If you don't receive an email or see any posts about that, assume that it is as it currently is, and you will bring your bike race morning. We are not going to do any tattoos, no body markings with tattoos. They're absolutely useless. And a race of this size, it's just an added expense when things can be put to use for you guys in other ways. So the tattoos originally were meant for easy identification, but they wear off kind of easy. And over the years, they've proved harder and harder for the system to identify, to the point it doesn't really matter. But what we are going to do, we do have the stickers, we do have the run bib. So those are ways of identifying you. We will have a Sharpie at packet pickup. You can mark your number on your swim cap if you would like, or you can do that at home yourself. And then we will have Sharpies to mark, and you can do this again. We urge you to do this at home before the race starts. We're going to mark your calves. Your left calf will have a T for triathlon, a D for duathlon, or an A for aquabike, or lastly, an R for relay. You can mark any of those on your left calf, depending on what you're registered for. And on your right calf, we're just going to mark your age, so that people running up on you for competition reasons can know what you're part of and who they're competing against. Again, you can write those at home, but keep in mind, for those of you that are new, triathlon age is what your age is at the end of the year. So if you're 30 right now and you haven't had a birthday yet, you're going to turn 31. Keep in mind, you are technically 31 for this race. You're considered to be 31. So jump it ahead if need be. Transition will be 8 to a rack. You do have a special spot in transition for your bike. It's marked with a sticker. It's the same sticker that's on your bike helmet and on your bike that we give you. Keep in mind that your bike is going to come racked out facing away from wherever the sticker is, or facing the same direction as the sticker. So mount by the seat. That's the best way to do it, not by the handlebars. It's how you should be doing it. Make sure your end caps, if you have the ram horns and you do a road bike, make sure your end caps have plugs in them. Make sure your brakes work. Make sure your tires are filled up. It's adjusted. Your derailleurs are adjusted. You're shifting, all of that stuff, guys. Johnny Z and Powerhouse are going to be there. There are bike mechanics. Same with Justin at Bike Minded Guru, but they are not there to do a free tune-up on your bike. That's not what they're there for. They're there for emergencies, to help you if you need it. Please don't abuse that, because eventually they're going to tell you they did what they can do and you move on. So you're going to rack at that spot where the sticker is with your bike facing out. Please don't touch anyone else's bike in transition. If someone racks incorrectly, they're on your spot, they're too close. If they're there, kindly ask them to move it. If they're not, maybe wait a little bit. If you can't even rack because of it, come see a volunteer. They'll most likely, the volunteers will have on the same race shirts that you're getting in your packets. We have a bunch of extra of those. I over ordered, and I think I'm going to use those for the volunteers. So you just look for those shirts in transition. You can usually spot a volunteer. They're standing around looking for something to do, or they're actually working. You can see them working in there. So just look for those people. Trey is your transition coordinator. Those of you that have done triathlons in Houston, Trey's the coordinator at a lot of those for them. So he's the head of it. You can look for him. You can get an official. The official will likely have a black and white stripes. It looks like a ref jersey on. So look for them. Anyone besides you or another racer to move that bike. Just be respectful of that, guys. And then when you get into transition, where you should put your stuff on the ground is usually dictated by the first couple people that are there. So if it's on the right side of their bike, keep kind of putting it on the right. You'll see where you have space. Don't come out into the aisle too much. Usually if you take a beach towel, fold it in half, that's about the size. I apologize, I don't know the exact size that USA Triathlon allows for that, but you'll see when you get there. Just keep it compact, keep it out of the aisle and away from other people. You can come and go as you please and transition until we kick everyone out at 7:20. That is a hard line cutoff to get everyone out. If you are in the relay, you can come and go as you please, but you need to have that R on your left calf. All 3 members can put that on there, and we will let you in and out when we won't let other people in and out, because we realize the 2 people that aren't doing that leg need somewhere to go, and you've got to meet people in there as they're coming in and out on those splits to switch things around. Everyone else, though, you're out. At 7:20, you're out. So you come back in as part of the race. The exception would be the aquathon. And the exception meaning, or not aquathon, I'm sorry, aqua bike. The aqua bike, you're going to start with everyone else. You're going to be in the swim waves, and then you're going to do the bike, obviously. But your race ends when you cross the bike in mat, and I'll show you where that is. But once you cross that, your race ends and you're finished. If you're in the aqua bike and that happens, then you're going to walk over to transition, since you're already in there, and you're going to gather up all your stuff and you're going to take it all out at that time, so we can get you guys out and you don't have to come back in. You are the only ones that are allowed to do that at that time, because that's when you finish your race. The rest of you, just to kind of skip ahead a little bit, we're going to try something a little different, and we are going to allow limited quantities of people. Once you finish and you do your thing in Bay Street Park, you can walk back over to transition. And Trey's going to allow some of you, limited quantities, as you approach, to come into transition, get your stuff, and leave. He will direct you where to go in, where to go out, how many people to go in there. Be super respectful of the people that are still racing, because undoubtedly there will be people. If he's limiting how many can go in, that means that there are still people racing. So keep your head on a swivel in there so you're not in anybody's way. Cheer people on as they come in still, especially if they're near you, and be a good person in there. Because think about it, guys, if you're towards the back, whether that's because you're not quite as fast as somebody else, or maybe your wave started later, whatever the reason, and you see people getting your bike, that doesn't necessarily feel good. unless you're being cheered on by those people and encouraged. So use that opportunity to cheer people on. We're trying to get you to get your bike, and so that you can get on your way earlier and we can clean up earlier once the last person goes on the run. So that's kind of a win-win for everyone. So help us out with that, guys. Okay, so transitions closed. One other thing, we do not want you to place your bike, or I'm sorry, your bag on the edge of the fencing, whether that's inside or outside. If you place it on the outside, we're going to collect it. We're going to put it in a lost and found area somewhere over by Selena in the park. We don't want bags anywhere except right by your bike. If it's too much stuff, carry your bag out, put it with a team tent. We're not going to watch it for you. So give it to somebody if you have to, or just plan ahead and get a smaller bag so it fits with your stuff in transition. All right. So transition closes, you're out. You're walking towards where I'm going to show you the swim start's going to be. If you're in the duathlon, you're not at the swim start, obviously, but we're going to be a little north of that, but you still walk down towards the swim start. Duathletes, your swim starts, or your bike, or your run start, I'm sorry, is real close to the swim start. So just walk down that area. Everyone walks towards that area. We'll have an anthem and announcements, and we'll probably do that just as a whole, duathletes and the swimmers as well, all in one area by the swim start. And once we do that, we'll walk the duathletes down to their swim start and kind of separate them out. Just know that that's how it's going to happen there. 7:30 is when the triathlon and the aqua bike officially start. I'll talk about how those start. The duathlon starts at 7:40, 10 minutes later. I'll show you where those start and everything on the map. I've gone ahead and put the official swim wave starts. These should not change. If anything changes, I will email you guys. So make sure you're checking your spam. Make sure you're checking your email box from this day forward all the way through Saturday morning even. I would say it's a pretty safe bet that after 5 a.m. you shouldn't receive any more emails from me. I would pretty much say everything's locked in at this point, unless I'm hit with a curveball somehow that I don't see coming. All right. So, and then 9:45 is awards. Guys, we're going to have grab and go awards. So what that means is that we will have a podium for second, third place set up in it's like a little amphitheater type thing. It's like this wiring. You'll see it. It's right by the finish line where we have it. We're going to have first, second, third, and then we'll also throw up everyone that's part of the elite wave on the stage, but have those top three on the podium itself. And we will give out awards to an audience for the elite wave. Now, the elite wave can be anyone that wants to be in it at this point. If you think you're fast and you want to compete in that, you can still switch over to it. Just go into run sign up and do that. If you've already been assigned, you're going to need to switch your swim cap. Just let me know, or let Selena know that you're switching at packet pickup and going into the elite wave. Most of you don't want to do that. I get it. But just something I wanted to mention. So we will actually present awards at 9:45 to that elite wave, but that is the only presentation we are doing. The rest of you, age group and all that, are grab and go. So once enough people have crossed and we can identify the winners of each age group, which isn't too long after let's say the third place person crosses. We want just a little time, maybe to get fourth and fifth in there to make sure that there's no discrepancy there. But you'll be able to see Tony up in the timing trailer. I'll show you where that's going to be, and he will have your awards. And as soon as you tell him who you are, he verifies, he will give you, or one of the volunteers up there will give you an award, and that way you're free to go. You can get it nice and early, and you're not stuck waiting around for an award ceremony. Okay, so that's what we're going to try out. We'll see how you guys like it. And at 10:30, the event officially concludes. That is the schedule. So let me move on now to, we'll move on to the course map. So I used to do illustrated course maps. They looked all nice and pretty and everything, but every time there was a change made, which sometimes that happens, guys, whether it's our fault or not, I had to make illustrated course map changes, which is a lot more difficult than people think. Gets tedious. I like to have this map from Google because you can actually pull this up on your phone. Spectators can pull this up on their phone as well when you're on site, and you can see where you're at. Now, you shouldn't be racing with your phones. You can race with a Garmin or GPS device. Phones aren't allowed. Audio devices aren't allowed. But in the morning, if you have your phone there, or you show up the day before and you want to check out where everything is, you can pull this up. And like I said, spectators can use this as a great tool while they're there on site. If I was out there and I have my phone right now, there'd be a blue GPS dot wherever I am, so you can identify where you are and kind of walk around and see where everything's at. So that's why I use these. They're really useful. Plus, especially if you're on a desktop, Your phone has the legend, but the desktop looks even nicer. It's a nicer way to view the legend here. So you can see where everything's at. If you click it, it'll pop up on the screen, as you see. So it's really useful and pretty cool. You'll see a few more things on this one than are viewable to you, I believe, because I'm logged in as an administrator on this, but we'll roll with it. Okay, so parking isn't really identified on this map, but I can just show you where it's at. See this street here that looks wider than the rest, 9th? There's parking along the edge of the street on all of this. There's also parking on a number of these streets here. But when I say you can park on 4th, 5th, 2nd, all of those, remember there's some that run vertically and horizontally here, all the way down to here. So in reality, any of these roads you find parking on that's actual parking that doesn't say no parking, or you're not blocking someone's driveway or anything like that, you can park it. Okay. I would recommend everyone just park on 9th. There's if just pull up as far as you possibly can, because when you start just randomly picking spots, then it's going to force a lot of people to parallel park. And I know quite a few people that are not good at parallel parking. So those spots will go unused, and then we're eating up a lot of space we don't need to. So as you show up, pull up as far as you possibly can, so you can just pull right up to the bumper of somebody else or close to the bumper, and then just park back. There's parking up at the school here. If you want to park, there's quite a bit here, and you can just ride your bike down. That's really easy, or ride it down these streets, probably a little safer. Just make sure you're looking, guys. Every cross street, there's a lot of them in here. So just be aware of your surroundings when you park. Okay. You can park as far back as here if you want, and just ride your bike in. The further back you park, if you're planning on doing that and making it easy, just make sure you have a light, please, because it will be dark in the morning. All right. Sorry. Let's see here. Going back to the map. The road will be closed off right here. So if you're trying to pull in on 8th, you'll be directed to go down Bay Street, or you can't go down 8th any further. This becomes Dyke Road at this point. This is all closed. It's part of the course. So let's assume you've parked, okay, and you can't get in anywhere else. You've got to walk it in at this point. You walk your bike in. This will be where you cross. Just get on this sidewalk right here in the park, and you just walk it in. Real easy. This is post-race here that we'll come back to in a minute in the park. But you're just walking down this sidewalk here. It's really the only way to get over here. So you're just walking along. So if you're parking anywhere besides 8th Street or 9th Street, 9th Street's really easy. You just kind of make a right turn and you're over. Just make sure you find your way down to this intersection right here. Don't go through the park or whatever. I mean, if you end up there and you know your way, great. Otherwise, just get over here. So you take the sidewalk in towards transition. Just come this way. We'll have a big light up for transition. One of the generator towers with the big lights will at least shine one towards you. We'll probably have a vehicle here with flashers on to kind of guide you down so you know where you're at. If you end up in the park, just ask somebody. There should be at least 1 or 2 people. Selena, here is the gazebo that I'm talking about. It's in Rainbow Park. Volunteer check-in as well as race morning packet pickup will be under this covered pavilion here. We'll get back to the rest of that in a minute. So you're going to come down here. This black area here is transition. And I'm not going to go over exactly how it's fenced in, but it's kind of a unique thing where we have a natural boundary from the bridge and the creek, which is very, very steep descent. No one's going to try and hop over that. So that's a nice boundary there. We'll have some fencing here. And when you walk up to this area on the bridge, this is where it's decision time. If you're an athlete, you're going to go into transition. If you're a spectator, you're going to go into this white area here. And this will be fenced off. Spectators, you will be corralled. You will not be allowed at all, whether it's through the road, because we're not going to allow anyone past. If you're walking on the road instead of the sidewalk, there's going to be a gate here until the race starts. And someone will be, a police officer most likely will be right here. No spectators will be allowed past this point unless they're in this area that's fenced in. And we'll let you cross here. That's fine to get in here. But you're not allowed on the road here. It's an open course. We don't want anyone down on the dike unless they're racing, volunteers, medical staff, that kind of thing. So spectators, you'll be allowed to walk up. This is a hill here. It's all grass. It'll be nice and groomed. You're going to be able to walk up all the way to Skyline. You are not going to be able to, there's a little wire fence that, yeah, technically you could hop over, but if you do, we're going to ask you to hop right back over it, because Skyline here will be this section right here before the bike course starts will be a way for us to stage vehicles and have an emergency way to get onto Skyline if necessary. So we're going to allow you in this area, and you'll walk all the way up to the top of this hill, and it'll be even with the road, but I don't want you getting on the road. Just stand right there, guys. Plenty of room for spectators at a race that's only 500 people. And this is high enough. What's really cool about it for spectators, you're going to be able to see all of this, all of it. It's great. It's really unique. It's not like any other race I've seen. You have a bird's eye view, so to speak, of all of this that's going on. So you will be able to see the start. You will be able to see people come out and run up. And then if you walk over on the hill to the edge of where that wire gating is right here, you'll be able to see your athlete running from swim exit into transition and also coming in on the bike. And we'll go over that in a second. Okay, so that's spectators. Please respect that. Please don't hop this and make us grab you and push you back over towards this. We don't want anyone down here. The reason also is we don't want people wandering down here. This is an open bike course and run course. So please respect that. If your athlete's watching this and you're not a spectator, please share that with your spectators. Go over that with them so that they know, so that it's easier for us to cross people at the crossings. We have big flags, 20-foot flags that are pedestrian crossing flags. They say PED X-ing on them. Those are where the pedestrians should cross. And then when we close down transition, at 7 what time did I say? I think it was 7:20. Then we're going to walk you guys down. We might use the road. We might walk you through spectator area, whatever. We'll get you down there. Okay. So spectators are taken care of now. Another note, when you're done here as spectators, the way back or the way through is the way you came through in the first place. You'll cross over here, you'll walk over the bridge, and then once you get into the park, you're free reign to do whatever you want in here and just wait for your finisher over here. Okay. All right, guys. So we've walked you down in the morning. So side note, this is let's see how long it is. Let's see, 1,000 feet is, I'm not exactly sure, I think that's about less than a quarter of a mile, just under a quarter of a mile. Probably like 0.15 of a mile. So that's the run that you're going to have from swim exit back to transition. Originally, we had transition down here, but it's too congested in the morning. There's just no way that it would stay down there. This is much better. Now, what I will say is the bikers have the road coming in. This is the end of the bike course, and it's a 2-lane road. So they will have the entire paved section of the road. You will have a small gravel shoulder, or you can run in the grass. If you want to do barefoot, that's okay, but you're going to have to be in the grass. Do not go in the gravel. That will hurt. What I recommend everyone does is have an extra pair of either sandals to walk in, some type of shoe that you can actually run in without getting hurt, that you don't care about, that are throwaways, that are not your run shoes. Do not use your run shoes for this, just in case for some reason you can't find them at the swim exit or whatever. We want everyone to have their run shoes in transition waiting for them. So you are allowed to bring a toss away pair of shoes. When we walk you guys down, we will pass by this, just go over, we will identify where that is, and you can set them along this rock line. You can set them along right here on the pavement, and when you get out, you can just put those on, and that'll enable you an easy way to just run on the shoulder all the way back to transition. I would recommend that for every single person. You can get a cheap pair of shoes at Walmart, Target, wherever you go to get those, okay? So we walk everyone down. We'll get you down to this area here. We might do it over right here at the ramps, but we're going to gather everyone up. We'll do announcements and anthem via a little speaker that I have. I'll introduce myself, talk a little bit. Once the anthem's done, we'll walk all you guys down to the official swim start here. We'll separate the duathletes. There's 2 big flags here for the duathletes, guys. That'll be very recognizable. You're all going to go. That over here, that is a gun start. That is not a chip time start. There's no mat there. If you want to compete at the very front of that, I believe there's like 50 of you guys, or there will be about 50. If you want to compete for the overall there, then get in the front. Guys, just get in the front, and when the gun goes off, then it's fair. If you don't care about that, because there's no age group awards, start wherever you want in that group. There's only 50. It's not going to affect you very much if you're 2 seconds over the mat or over the actual start line, those flags. Okay, that'll start 10 minutes after we start the first swim wave. Everyone else, same thing here. There will be 2 huge flags. They're bright yellow neon that'll say swim entry, not swim start, swim entry. The race does not start here. Your wave start does not start here. So you are going to enter here. There will be gates here of fencing. and there will be actual timing mats here. Those are not starting your time. Those are checking you in the water, so we know you're checked into the race. If your wave is not starting, the official start line will be at the first buoy. If you're not starting, or what we call on deck, we'll put 1 or 2 waves on deck here. If your waves are not starting or on deck and you are waiting to get in the water, stand in this area. Do not stand up here. Do not stand up here where those timing mats are and check yourself in already. Okay, stand away from those. So everyone that gets in on deck or starting wave needs to cross these timing mats here. There is no warm up for this race. You will not be allowed down to this area prior to the race starting. So whatever you need to do to warm up, a short little run, some stretches, some bands, whatever, do that in transition on the mainland before you get down here. Do not come down here. If we see anyone down on the dike prior to us walking you down there, athlete-wise, you will be disqualified from the race. That goes for spectators too. If you're there with someone, they're disqualified as well. No one on the dike. There are a handful of things we got to be serious about, guys. Okay. All right. So we'll let you guys in. Let's say it's the first 3 waves that we let in. We're going to organize. You say, okay, the first wave, make your way up. You'll walk across. We'll tell you to go out to the first buoy. Second wave, third wave. You're on deck. Get in and just wade in the water. It'll be maybe knee high or waist high. This is very shallow in here. That's why we have to walk you out to this first buoy. This entire course, even at high tide, which is what it'll be, will be anywhere from maybe stomach to neck deep for you guys. Okay. So technically, a lot of you, or even all of you, could probably walk this. But if you're walking chest to neck deep, that's a hell of a lot harder than actually swimming it. Feel free to walk it at that deep if you need to. But you're going to expend way more energy and be exhausted when you get out. That's just not smart to do. But if you need a break, most likely, most of you can touch. We will have kayaks out here. So the official start buoy is right here. For some of you, maybe that's treading water. I don't know yet, but we will have a megaphone or a blowhorn, whatever it is, and we will officially start you. You will be able to hear us. We'll count you down, and we will start the first wave at 7:30. Every wave is 5 minutes after that, so we'll get you in more than enough time. Once that wave goes off at the buoy, give them a second. The next wave, if you're it, you walk up and you tread water or just wade in the water there, and you wait for us to tell you to go. This buoy is the official line. Just kind of stay a little bit behind it. We'll have some kayaks out and around here, and we'll either have like a John boat, a dinghy, or a jet ski out there. Just one of them kind of on the outer ridge of this to make sure no one, swims way out. But the kayak should correct you guys enough where this motorized vessel is not needed. Okay. We'll do our best not to have this thing dumping gas or any of that kind of stuff in your guys' path, so you're tasting that as you swim. So don't worry about that. Do keep an eye out as you're swimming. If a kayak gets in your way or this motorized vessel does, it is probably for a reason. It's because maybe there's a medical emergency, God forbid. We don't want that, or someone's needs rescuing. Don't get mad if that happens, guys. Adjust with it, roll with it. You can swim around these things. You can ask what's going on. You can figure it out and still be on your way, okay? That brings up another point I just thought of. Know the course. This course is not going to change. This is the course. So if you're on the course and for some reason you've missed a mark or whatever, there will be marking. It should not be touched. It should not be messed with. We have enough people monitoring this. But if you come up on something and you ask a volunteer where to go, just know that volunteer, although they should know where to point you, may not point you the right way. It is up to you to know the right course direction for this. So if you're in the area, maybe come out and check it out. And it's easy. The course is easy. That morning, know as much of it as you can. So yeah, anyway, know the course, guys. These buoys are big mooring buoys. They're not the triangle, soft buoys that are out there. Those act as sails. We actually have a pretty heavy anchor system that locks into the sand. I took this as an opportunity, rebuying equipment, to do it better than I'd done it in the past, which was weighted buckets that moved around in the sand and those big things that are sails. These just spin. They're the really hard plastic. They're neon in color, so they're easy to see. You're going to have a yellow one at the start, an orange one at the corner, so you know to turn at the orange buoys. The yellow one here in the middle and the yellow one here, once you turn, marks the official point where you can probably just stand up, but you can swim in as far as you can. The buoys will be on your left the entire time. You're swimming essentially a counterclockwise direction. And since the sun is rising in the east over here, guys. You shouldn't have the sun directly in your eyes any of the time, which is very nice. Okay. All right, you make it around, you get towards the swim exit. This area here could have potentially a few rocks in it. The area that really does is further over here and further over here. You're going to see two bright yellow flags here. I may actually put a strobe. We have some strobes left over from our extreme triathlon days in Iceland and Alaska. We would mark the swim exit with these super bright strobes. But if it's really sunny, those are a little harder to see. But I'll try to put one out here too, along with those yellow flags, so that you can see exactly where that is. So that brings me to a bigger point here for safety and ease in and out of the water. From the pavement here and the areas further back over here, which is more kind of sand or gravel that you could actually stand on, as you get closer to the shore, there are sharper rocks. There are a number of crushed clams and shells, which do not feel good. They may or may not cut you. It may not be that extreme, but it doesn't feel good going over them. So what we're going to do, we've got to get you over the little area here where the water washes up during tide and during high tide and low. And that's about a 5 to 10 foot section going in. And then I'd say 5 to 10 feet coming out, probably a little more. So we're going to have a rather narrow section of heavy weighted rubber mats going in and coming out of the water, which should take you over those areas. If you're getting in on your own and not using our rubber mats because you're either impatient or not paying attention, guys, that's on you. I'm sorry that those are going to hurt or even cut you up, but I'm telling you how to avoid that. So I would say, this should be sand in here. There shouldn't be any issues, but look out for a few rocks in here. And as you get close to where the water hits the land here, just look out, look for that rubber mat by these flags. We have the flags side by side in an area that is wide enough for those rubber mats. That's on purpose, aimed towards those. One other thing about the swim, excuse me. One other thing about the swim is potentially there could be some jellyfish. Now, this is not the time of year that the schools are there or they're washed in, but you never know. In the bay, they can wash in at any time with the tide and winds and changes in current and that kind of stuff. And that could happen. We have no control over those types of things. But naturally, they're not in here in abundance. You should be fine, but just know there could be the random one here or there, and they could sting you if you're unlucky enough to get tangled up in those. If that happens, we will have some EpiPens on shore if anyone is allergic and doesn't know it. If you just do get stung, we'll have some treatments there. It feels like fire ants for the most part. You can, if your heart rate's lower and not going out of control and it gets treated, you should be able to continue to race for the most part. That is not a common thing, but that could happen anywhere from the 70.3 in Galveston to any event on the bay. When Kima had that, it was possible. So I'm just letting you know that it could be out there. Also, anywhere that you swim out in the ocean, there could potentially be stingrays. So just when you get in, as a rule of thumb anywhere, shuffle your feet in the sand. Do not pick them up and step down in a way that could just step onto them. You want to scurry them off. So as you get in, just shuffle your feet. Should be fine. No big deal. And just do the swim, guys. And that's it. The weather for the day should be great. It looks like it's going to be hardly any wind and good temperatures. I think maybe 70, 65, 70 at the start, and then no more than 80 during the day. So that's great. Fingers crossed and knock on wood that stays, maybe even a little bit lower on those temps. So you get out of the water, you grab your shoes, and you're running back, okay? We'll try to wrap this up. This is kind of getting long here. So you're getting into transition, and swim in and bike in is the exact thing. The finish of the bike, they're the same thing. We're going to separate these by fencing those. So as you come over on the bike, which I'll get to in a minute, make sure you're slowing down as you go over the hill, the berm there that is Skyline, and you're coming down. You can see this coming. Make sure you're riding those brakes. Slow down. Don't be ridiculous and cause an accident here. The gates will separate these two chutes, and then there'll be timing mats running into this. This is where officially your swim ends, time ends, and your transition time starts. Same on the bike. Your bike time stops, transition starts. But we're on the swim in. You guys swim in. Do athletes, real quick, jumping back to that. You start here. It's a real wide shoulder area here. You run all the way down, we'll turn you around. There's a little U-turn sign, and we'll have someone down here. We'll turn you around. You run all the way back. Do not get on the road, because no one should be on the bike course by then, especially that part of it. But just stay off the road. You'll have shoes on. Okay, you run all the way down, and you guys will join in on the shoulder here with the swimmers that are coming in to transition. Okay, so you're on the same chute going in. You run into transition, you find your bike. The bike rack, something I didn't mention, is on the end. Trey's going to put placards with the ranges so you can look at the range. You just got to know your number. No balloons or any of that kind of stuff in transition, guys, to mark where you're at, please. Just keep it nice and simple. So you get into transition, you get your bike, you get all your stuff together, bike shoes on, whatever you need, and you run your bike out. You do not ride your bike out. Your helmet, I would recommend putting it on, buckling it at transition before you grab your bike, as a rule of thumb, so you don't forget. Technically, the rule is that you have to have it buckled by the time you mount, but do it at the rack. It just is way easier, guys. You run or walk your bike out, be aware of your surroundings, watch out for people. So what's cool is right here, the transition area is completely fenced off. So your outer area of transition itself actually only has fencing in these two chutes right here for the bike out and the run out, the start of each of those. The fencing you'll see is actually more for the spectators running around here to keep them contained in this area. The restrooms, by the way, will be in transition in this area in the morning, and any spectators that need restrooms, they'll be over here. But we're going to add a couple to the two they have here already. Athletes, don't hit those and fill those up on your way. Just get to the ones in transition, and you're good. Okay, so bike out. If you need some water, there'll be a table here with some self-serve water. That will not be, there'll be one in transition, but this one specifically, I'm sorry, is for the run out. There'll be one over here as well where you can kind of fill up if you need to. If there's not, this will just be a big one you guys can grab from all day long, no problem. So you bike out here, you're going to officially start right here. This is a hill you're biking up, but it's a long run. I was originally going to have you start up here. I'm not going to do that. You're back here and you're going to ride up this. Do not pass people going up this. So when you get on your bike and you're mounted and you're riding up, just get up to the top of this, start your bike on flat ground before you start passing people. Consider this a no pass zone here, guys. Run. I may or may not put you on the road. Just stay in the chute. You may run on the grass until you get up here to the actual shoulder. I'm going to decide a lot of that little minute stuff when I get out there tomorrow. Just kind of roll with it, guys, and do what you're told on race day. So bike course. You're going to do a counterclockwise loop. This is the closed part of the course right here along Skyline. This is a nice high ride so you can see everything. You're propped up there so you can see the park. You can see the bay. It's a nice scenery all the way out. There is a big block of cement right here. This is a one-way road too. So the only vehicles on here may be SAG or medical, but just be aware that this is one way, should be completely closed to traffic. Let me back this up for 1 second here, guys. There's a hazard you need to know about. So right here, I think this was built to slow people down, obviously, but it was during construction. They made a hill here. It's just a big hill. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know the history of it, but there's a hill here. It's real quick up and down it. But on the front side, you're going to hit 4 speed bumps that stretch all the way across. There's no way around them. The same rubber mats that were at your swim entrance and swim exit are going to be right here. And there will be 3 areas across each of those 4 speed bumps going up. Now, those mats are going to be laid in a way where if you go over the rubber and you're in control of your bike, not too tight and not super loose, just kind of hold on and ride over them. You should be safe to roll over them. We had people do it at high speed and they were okay, but they also knew it was there. If you let them surprise you, even though we've dampened those quite a bit with those mats, you may wipe out and take people with you. So we will have a person here, we'll have a strobe here, we'll have signs leading up to it that say, be aware. I would still slow down and roll over them. And then when you get to the top of the hill, speed back up coming down, you'll gain all that speed back going down the backside. There's no speed limit there or no speed bumps there, and you're good to go. Be very careful there. You could really hurt yourself, but we've taken measures to keep it safe as we can. Okay, so going down to the first turn. Now, that's all closed course. This is going to be the part where it's open course. Right here is a big block of like barrier cement they use on highway construction. So if you're riding far over to the left and you're passing or whatever, you have potential to hit this. It essentially cuts it down in half so that you're on this right side. So as you approach this turn, you're going to see there'll be a police officer here. It's the only place you can turn. Make sure you're over to the right. You slow down and you're going to make a turn. Now, from this point on, because there's housing back in here and people that need to get back there, from this corner all the way to till you get down to this original crossing where you came in the morning, this is the only section of the bike that's open. It's like between 2 and 3 miles. Okay. This section back here, you're going to see very few cars. Okay. But just be aware it's a 2-lane road, no shoulder. They'll go around you. There's not enough people in this race to make it that hairy out there. Just be aware and be respectful of people and let them pass. Be safe is what I'm saying. Okay. So this is open course. The only area that may be a little confusing is right here. So this is a 2-lane road, and don't pay attention to Google. It has you on the opposite side of the road. You're riding with traffic. That's how this goes. So right here, there'll be signs and there'll be an officer here, but you're going to join up with this road that's coming in and keep going straight. Now, again, Google's got you on the wrong side of the road. Ignore that. You should be over here. Now, this is now a 4-lane road instead of 2. You're going to ride the very right side, not in the middle. We don't want to cone each side of you and have it weird. Get you away from this other oncoming traffic. So as in any other race, you're going to ride the shoulder, the right lane. And you may have cars next to you as you ride that right lane. They may be on your left, but there's a cone line here. Don't cross it. If you pass, stay within that right lane. There's room to pass. Now, we're going to place cones on every one of these little side streets coming in, or have barricades where they can't get into this course. But it's human nature to move things, and you never know what people are going to do. So as you cross each one of these roads, have your head on a swivel and look, be responsible for your own safety. There will not be police outside of this intersection right here where you merge in, this one up here where you turn, and this one way down here originally where you come in. Those are the 3 areas on the bike course. So all of these little streets that enter on to this course, we'll block them, but people may move things and come in. Just be aware, guys. Be careful. Okay. Speed limit's super low. Even if they did, they should still be looking for people. That's the law, right? So just know that. Once you get down here, turn back in, and this is all closed course at this point again, once you turn in onto Dyke Road. So you come in, you're going to blow right by transition. You're on the opposite side of the road. You're going to go over the berm here, a nice up and down, go past the booth where they collect the fee. There'll be a lot of yellow delineators on it. Just keep those on your left. You're riding with traffic down. It's closed course all the way down to the end. Down at the very end of the dike, there's a natural way to just turn you around. It's really nice. There's nowhere you can go. We'll have someone down there. We'll have medical and we'll have SAG on the dike. That's where the official will be on the motorcycle to catch drafting and all that. But just know, I mean, you're going to ride to the end of the dike and then turn around and come back. We're going to have a number of marshals and people stationed along the way. Don't turn around early. You're going to get caught. You're going to be that guy if that's the case. That if we have proof of it, that you're actually cheating, that's also going to be a DQ. The guys, there are some things that just fall in that category where we can't help you at that point. Don't be that guy or that woman. Okay, so you ride all the way down and back. This is where you can get some major speed up. The wind's supposed to be low. Beautiful view, water on each side. All right, so you come back. At that point, some of you will bike by here and there will still be people coming out of the swim. So be aware, if you're those people that are the first quarter of the bike course, you may see people in this area. They should already be in the water. This shouldn't be a problem. Duathletes should already be in. The only place you should really see them is kind of this area here. So as you come up on this, be very aware and assume that they're not going to be paying attention. They may go onto the road a little, and just be careful. And hopefully that's not the case. You should be slowing down once you hit where the swim exit was on the bike here. Anyway, you're going to go up this hill, and right here is where you're going to get off your bike. We'll have it marked with mount, dismount flags, people, the line, all of that. Don't go past that. You'll get off and you will go into transition, and you'll mount your bike or rack your bike, and you'll get all your bike stuff on. or your run stuff on. I'm sorry, guys. I need another cup of coffee here. Get all your run stuff on, and you will run over to where the flag says run out, and then you'll run the run course. And this runs along the beginning of the bike. You're where the bike course is going out on this road. Just before the speed bump, you're going to run the shoulder, guys. Don't get on the bike course on the road, but you're going to run the shoulder. You're going to run all the way down, and eventually, just before the speed bump, my buddy Norm, and I believe it's his grandson or his nephew, I think it's his grandson, will be there with him. And one of them is going to be at the speed bump, and then one of them is going to be here directing you down. We'll have a water stop there too. And on the run, this is where you go into the park. This is all downhill here, really nicely paved. And you're still on pavement. You'll go over a kind of cool bridge. There may be some dividers on the bridge. Just look out for those. You don't want to hit those. They might be taken up. I'm not sure. But anyway, you're going to go out. You're going to stay on the right side. And you're going to run down here. This is all within the park. It's all paved. Just follow the markings, follow the cones. You're going to go all the way down on this side. You'll U-turn here. I don't like the out and back here any more than you do, but I needed to get some distance on the run, guys. So this is all paved. You'll run down. You'll do a U-turn. You'll come all the way back up. And right here, after you came off the bridge where you continued straight to get down to that U-turn, when you come back, you're going to turn right. And then this is your shot all the way to the finish. And it turns gravel right here. So it's a nice, soft gravel trail. It's not single track like you'd expect in a forest. It's like Memorial Park, you know, just that crushed gravel. And you're going to run that all the way down. By the way, there's another aid station on your way out, and you can hit that on the way back before you get to the gravel here. And I think there's bathrooms here too if you need them. You're going to run all the way down here. You're going to run through a couple parking areas and a park. And by the way, that aid station up there was your last one to the finish, guys. So you're going to run all the way through all this, and we're across the bridge here, and then you'll come in, and the finish line will be right here. Okay, so the aid stations. Gatorade is our sponsor. That was through USA Triathlon. They were very generous. We have a number of cool things. We have Gatorade coolers that will have the Gatorade in them. We should have volunteers at the aid stations that will have cups stacked, pre-filled with Gatorade and water. The non-Gatorade marked coolers will have water in them. Know that if you get to an aid station and there is no one there, because guys, that's volunteers. They volunteer to come, right? So some will show up and some don't. We always account for attrition with volunteers. So if by chance you get to a volunteer or an aid station and there's no volunteers there, then take the time if you need that water or that Gatorade. So just do it yourself. There's a cup there. You're perfectly capable of filling up a cup and putting it in the trash when you're done before you leave. So we should have people there. Shouldn't be a problem. But just know that if the stuff is there, do it yourself if need be. It's going to be a table with water, a table with Gatorade, and I may have some gels there too, some precision hydration gels. They're a different company. A lot of you in the swim run and trail running communities may know them, but just count on water and Gatorade for sure, and maybe some gels at one. Okay, so as you go down and you make your way to the finish, you're going to get a finisher's medal there. And if for some reason you haven't claimed your shirt ahead of time at packet pickup or that morning, for those that mailed it, you can get it there at the gazebo. Here is a natural seating area. Here is the pavilion or amphitheater. It's like this wire structure where we'll do the elite awards. But after you get whatever it is we have to eat, you can sit here on this hill and watch the finish line if you want. We'll have announcing there. Food and drink will be in this little covered pavilion here. You can hang out in this one. If you have spectators that have children, or your children are going to be there with somebody, you can have them in the kids' play area here. That's a lot of fun. Bathrooms are over here. And then this over here. So when you cross the line, there'll be an announcer and a timing mat officially over here. But as far as actual the timer and where he's going to be in his trailer, will be over in this corner in this parking lot here. So if you have a discrepancy, or you want to see if you want an award, if you're not sure, you can go over there and talk to him about that or claim your award. But we will also at the finish and or this area here where you claim your food and drink, we'll have a little A-frame where there's a QR code. And if you have your phone, or a spectator you know has their phone, you can scan it, and that's how you're going to see your awards. We don't have the screen that feeds the awards or printed results up for you to see. You got to scan it. If you don't know, simply walk over and ask Tony. He can let you know if that's an issue. And if you don't care, even better. All right, guys, that is most of it. I think when you claim your bike afterwards, like I said, just walk down this path the same way you came to get in. and wait patiently. If you can't get in prior to the last person going out on the bike or on the run, I'm sorry, on the run, then just wait patiently and we'll let the floodgates open once the last person's gone out on the run, if it ends up being that way, but we're going to do our best to get you in sooner. Spectators also, in that morning, Lee's Bait and Tackle here will probably be open, and they're going to have water and anything else you can need in there, really. They have snacks and all that stuff. So you can buy stuff from them all morning long. They should be open. Right here, this grill should also have stuff that you could buy to eat later in the morning. These two places are affected by our race being shut down, guys. They've been very gracious and not causing a stink about it, but they're busiest times in the morning. So if you guys can give either of them as much business as possible, we greatly appreciate it. It'll go a long way in relations for the future to have this race. So I believe, let me go back to the website. I believe that's about it. If you want to see the awards, you can look at those specifically here. Relays, duathlon, and aquabike, there's some information there. Results directly are here. Photos, frequently asked questions. If you want to volunteer, know anyone that does, click here on the volunteer sign up. Any last minute sponsors are always welcome. Contact us through this link, and our other events are here. We also own the Sugarland Half Marathon and 10K, which is 3 weeks from now. We want to hit 1,000. We're getting, we're about 650 right now. Heritage Half is in December on the 4th. It's out at Fulshire High School. The Resolution 5K, 10K is downtown at Fish Plaza on January 1st, which is a great time to race. Late morning start, rolling start, 9 a.m. Check that out. Really cool race, brand new as well. And then next year on April 1st, I'm going to have the Bad Rabbit Run. I'm not exactly sure when that is, but it's an Easter time, or where that is, but that's an Easter time run that's going to happen. So sorry for the fast talking. Wanted to get through it. Thank you guys so much. That's it. I'll see you out there. Thanks a lot.